Hello guys, welcome. Oh, excuse me a sec. Sorry about that. I was doing one of my pet hates. I was eating them. I started recording, which is really bad. But I'm eating edamame beans and wasabi peas, which is a bit hipster for me. But I love them. They're really nice. But yeah, apologies for that because I do hate listening to people eating. Well, I hope you didn't hear any crunching or anything. But anyway, welcome back to the channel. Bob here, and we're back for some more Everquest today. And this is a bit of a catch-up video, I think. Really, it's been a while since my last video. Essentially, I mean, I think that as people know, I've got a full-time job and a family and stuff, and I've had a sort of a big project going on at work, so I haven't really had much time to sort of sort any videos out. I'm still. That's not to say that I haven't been playing. I have still been playing. One of the other problems I've got at the moment as well is that I'm quite conscious of the fact that a lot of the content I'm recording you've probably seen on the channel before. I'm sort of still going through a bit of a crisis of identity, I guess, from an Everquest point of view. But I thought, this video will just sort of update you on all the characters I'm currently playing and what I'm hoping to do. Obviously, never any guarantees on this channel, but sort of what I'm hoping to do with them. So first of all, I've got Bug Shaman here. He's 23 now. What I'm hoping to do with him today is get to 24 to get some, just get those. At 24, you kind of start to get those spells that define the class. So it's kind of like a bit of a goal, really. I want to get those, and see how we go from there. Did that go? Yeah, he got poison there. That's fine. So I'll just sit and meditate here for a bit to see how we go. I've bought some sort of equipment for him. I think I said before in a previous video that I came into some plat, which I did, and I've actually spent quite a bit of time sitting in East Commons, kind of buying stuff. And I have to say, it's just rubbish. I'm not a sitting in East Commons waiting to buy stuff kind of person, really. I discovered that over the last week or so. You do get amusement there, I have to say. It can be quite funny listening to some of the things that people say, but at the same time you get a lot of idiots there as well, just acting pretty idioty, I guess you would say. So yeah, a bit of a not a great time there. I haven't enjoyed that too much, but I have sat there and I bought some various bits for various characters. For Bug here particularly, I got myself a poison wind sensor for quite a good price, actually. There was someone selling let's have a roam around South Karana, because I do like doing that. That's my preferred method of hunting, which is probably why it takes me longer to level. I kind of like to run around big zones, just exploring and killing stuff as I come across it, really. But I bought a poison wind sensor for quite a good price. I was kind of hoping to pick up a granite face grinder, just because it's called a granite face grinder, really, and it's awesome. But I think the thing there is that it's about sort of 10,000 plat more expensive. And if I'd have pulled everything that I've got across all my characters, I probably could have afforded to buy one, but that's all I could have afforded to buy. So yeah, seemed a bit of a pointless task, really. And the poison wind sensor here, which I have to say I did get for I think a pretty good price, not the going rate, a bit lower, has worked out brilliantly. I sort of hit maximum hit, I suppose, about 49. I think I've seen a hit for. It's pretty fast. It almost feels a bit like the Shaman, or I suppose I'll say Shaman. It feels a bit like, because I'm sort of Ranger's got a silvery swift blade at the moment. It feels a bit like the Shaman version of a silvery swift blade. And it's amazing how much difference a good weapon makes to your leveling. I mean, people talk about the sort of the platinum fire wedding rings here, and they make a massive difference from a hit point of view when you first start off. But yeah, a good weapon, I think, sort of a good ratio weapon between damage and delay makes a massive difference when you start in a class. And I think if anyone's kind of thinking about starting and they're sort of maybe they start off a bit of plat and they're sort of looking at maybe what they can pick up first of all, I would definitely say that just a decent, whatever class you are, just a unless you're a spellcaster, of course, just a decent weapon, you know, because that goes that sort of allows you to fly through the newbie stuff generally, you know, the starter areas and start beginner levels, and it really makes a massive difference. So that's what I've found with my shaman. Obviously, he's not kind of. I suppose he kind of is really starter levels, really, isn't he? But with my shaman, oh look, there's that grizzle knot. There's grizzle knots up. Woohoo! Let's go and get him. Let's go and get him on camera. Grizzle knot, take a bow. Take a bow, I should say. He's threatening, so we won't get too close because he will probably absolutely whoop me. There he goes. I'm not sure. I'm not quite sure where he paths, but I know that generally he spawns around the over there, the Centaur village. That's kind of where he spawns. Let's look for something to fight. Aviak Rook. Oh shit! I haven't been in South Karana with an evil character before, and it appears as though the Aviaks are aggressive. So kind of got to be careful now. The thing with fighting the Rooks and the Centaur archers is that it's 50-50 whether they give me an absolute hammering or not. Even taking into consideration of the fact I've got a pretty decent weapon, they hit really hard. Sometimes the fight goes fine and there's no problems, but at others they kind of leave me on, you know, 30% life and whatnot. I think the problem is that I, even though I'm sort of max on the weapon skill, I just find myself missing far too often. I haven't put a dot on at the moment. I've kind of been avoiding that just for because it's quite a small dot now in comparison to the hit points that the things have got that I'm fighting. But I'll put it on here because every little helps, as they say in Tesco's. Yeah, see, you kind of go through a period of runs where he's smacking you for 40, and you just I keep missing. I don't know why. I know that he's quite close to my level. What I have found, and I'm not sure if this is a little glitch or something, but I was listening to a conversation a rogue was having, and he said if you get into a period where you're missing, you know, you get a concession of misses, he said switch off your attack and switch it on again, and 9 times out of 10 that's sort of that kind of gets you going again. I certainly wouldn't say 9 times out of 10, but I have found strangely that if you go through a period of whiffs and you switch off your auto attack and you switch it on again, let's try it again. No, I missed then, you see. That you do get he's just there we go. I got him running, but he's done a huge amount of damage to me, which is a bit of a pain, but what can you do? Bloody Rook. He's only a weedy little bird. Look, I wouldn't mind. Come on. There we go. Down he goes. So as you can see, I've now got a period where I'm probably going to have to sit about and med up, which is a bit of a pain. I should have probably avoided fighting the Rook there, so I didn't have to stop. But what I will do is I will stop for a sec and be back in a mo. Hello guys, welcome back. Sorry about that. I will avoid fighting any more Rooks or Centaur archers that will give me a massive pounding, meaning I've got to sit down again to until I stop recording. I've just popped over to the Centaur village because little druid tree huggins. Okay, is that an archer? Oh, it's a sheltie. Let's give him a bash. There is there's a couple of wandering, I think, named centaurs that drop a runed oak bow. There's a red one. I think his surname's Meadow Green or something, and I've got, obviously got no chance of causing him any any problems at the moment. But there is another one who was blue to me when I was here last time, and I killed him, but the bow didn't drop. I don't know if he actually drops the bow or if it's kind of like a rare drop. But I just came over here basically to see if I can pick up a runed oak bow for me from a ranger, really. But he didn't drop, so I thought I'd just pop over here and have a quick look. A tree huggins coming over. Is he going to know? What is he going to interfere? Don't worry, tree huggins. You really no need. That's it. Off you go, fella. Oh no, he's going to cast something on me. What's he going to? Is he going to cast? Oh, he's cast. That's it. You go that way. I don't want him to. This is an absolute crapper. This is a crap angle for chasing something down. No, don't go in there. Oh, for God's sake. There we go. Let's do that. Hunting bow. They always drop hunting bow. Centaur Courser, obviously well out of my league. Centaur Archers I can beat, but they kind of do give me a bit of a kick in. So yeah, kind of avoid those. Who have we got in here? An archer. And another archer. Yeah, this named that that I killed the other day kind of wanders up here actually, but yeah, he doesn't appear to be. There's a meadow green there. I don't think that's the one that drops the bow though. So there's an Aviak Rook. They gave me a good kicking last time, so we'll move on. Let's head south into South Karana. So yeah, so this is where I'm with my Shaman, level 23, looking to push towards level 24 today. Get some new spells. I picked up a poison wind sensor. I bought some other bits and pieces, but nothing. You know, we're talking a few hundred plat, so nothing particularly amazing. But yeah, it's kind of one of the goals I've kind of set myself at the moment is to get my Shaman, because I do like the Shaman class. But I think the problem is that because it's quite a late developer, you know, it doesn't really blossom until quite late on in its career. I don't really feel that I've kind of felt the class really at the moment. I haven't sort of played the real Shaman, because at the moment I feel a bit like a almost like a sort of warrior in a way, with some spells that obviously greatly aid me. Sort of, I think the only spell I've kind of got at the moment that you would say was sort of shamanistic, sort of class defining, is the slows. And I have to say they've been brilliant for soloing. I mean, I was in a group ages ago with this character. We're talking months now, and someone was very disparaging about the slow spells. And I guess probably in a group they would be right, but for soloing, I have to say it makes a massive difference. As I said, I mean, I can beat Rooks and archers, but that's mainly because of slow. I have to say, you know, because if they were swinging at top speed, they would be sort of ripping me apart really. So yeah, it's a great spell. I've only got walking sleep at the moment. I think at 24, is it 24 I get a new one? 24 or 29 I get a new one, so I'm looking forward to that. What I normally do though with those sort of spells is I normally carry on using the previous level spell, previous power spell, until I get a couple of levels into that sort of into the new spell sort of pickups, and then I'll start using the new spell, just from a mana efficiency point of view, because I find the slow spells seem to be quite mana intensive, and if you use them the level you get them, they tend to be not particularly efficient. So oh bugger, what a noob. I clicked on the lion over there, the lioness over there, got completely sidetracked by that lioness, God's sake. I leave myself. I hope you don't mind the view. I mean, I've actually quite enjoyed running around with this view in the game. I quite like it, but I kind of need it here, because I was surprised to find that the Aviaks are aggressive against bad guys, the evil races, and obviously you've got to keep a lookout for the odd named or a cyclops or something that could be wandering by. So I hope you don't mind. I'm sorry. So they keep moving the camera around. I was thinking, for God's sake, stop moving the camera around, Bob. Yeah, but I do enjoy that. I do enjoy the view. So my walking sleep spell's worn off. But this is bug rot. This is how we're going with him. And hopefully in the next video I'll be able to show you just some of the new spells I've picked up. Is he going to slow right down? Yeah, there we go. I was really conscious of running into another Aviak, like a Harrier or an Abaset, and getting my arse handed to me. There we go. I'm moving west. I'm going to be moving in the southerly direction, really. I think I've just turned around to the north, south. There we go. So we're moving deeper into South Karana. it's a great zone. These are the sort of zones that are my favourites. I think that probably comes from playing with Druid a long time ago. You know, I used to love spending time sort of running around with Spirit of Warfare, a bit of tracking, you know, that kind of thing. Lots of fun. And there's also, I mean, I don't know if anyone, I imagine quite a lot of people around my level spend a lot of time in this zone. There's quite a lot of interesting stuff to see as well. You know, it's pretty full of life, I would say. There's plenty going on, plenty of dangers as well to avoid. What I normally do when I'm soloing is if I need some health, I'll just spam in a fire. Still so efficient from a healing point of view. I mean, it feels a bit like what I'm doing on my ranger at the moment, where I'm just spanning sort of minor healing, which is just terrible. You know, sort of about 50 casts of minor healing just to get your life back up again. Yeah, and obviously in a fire is a lot more efficient than that. Okay, have a little. There's a darter light blue. I'll let him go. I'll avoid him. Where to next? Okay, there's a dark blue darter over there, so let's go and give him a bash. I'm a bit paranoid. Sorry, excuse the camera, because I hope it's okay to watch. I'm a bit paranoid. I've got a Spirit Wolf, obviously, if I need to get away, but some things can just kill you big time in a very short space of time. There's a hermit building over there, so we're going to investigate that in a minute. This will probably be a longer video, actually, I think, because what I'll do is I'll just do a bit of gameplay from just to sort of catch up for each of the characters I'm playing, so you can see what's going on. Not much else to report on the Shaman. As I said, just going to get to level 24, get some new spells, and see how we go. I know that you guys make comments on the videos, which I'm very thankful for. I don't put any responses up generally, which I do apologise for. It's just again, it's just a time thing, you know. I mean, what I'll try and do, if there's anything particularly relevant, I'll cover them in a video. Kind of makes a bit more sense, I think, probably. The other thing if anyone's got any ideas for level 24, what I'm planning on doing quite soon with the Shaman is going over to Warslick Woods to fight the giants. Might be lucky and get a forest loop drop or two, because I've only got a silver earring and a golden earring at the moment. It's obviously nothing with any stats on. So yeah, I'll be quite looking forward to going over there. Might get a group maybe, but hopefully I can. Let's put a tainted breath on him. Sit down to meditate for a bit. Yeah, but hopefully I'll be able to solo. I think I can probably solo them at 24, 25, maybe. And I think probably with Cannibalise, I'll be a lot more efficient on my on the mana front. So yeah, let's see how we go. But I might get a group there. That'd be quite interesting. But I'll definitely be recording that. What I also might do is spend a level or so before I go there, doing some bard hunting, which are very traditional sort of. I mean, I haven't really sort of got involved in any traditional Everquest camping at the moment, where you kind of sit yourself down, you kill something, you wait for it to respawn, and you know, the sort of thing where you sort of AFK hunting, I guess, to a certain extent. I haven't really done that. I've always tried to keep on the move in the zones and run around, but it's something I might do, because apparently there's a bard that's pretty good to kill at level 24. Nice sort of steady camp. And it might be a good idea just to get a level or so on sort of doing that quite casually before I move over to Warslick Woods. But I'm quite looking forward to going over there, because it's something I haven't recorded yet, and it'll be something a bit different. I know that level 1 Undercon has sort of been over there a bit with his Shadowknight, but maybe sort of with a Shaman it'll be a bit of a different experience. Someone's just sent me a tell for a duo, but unfortunately I'm going to log out shortly, because I'm kind of recording this all in one go, but I might come back after if he's going to be around. Yeah, because I'm sort of recording this, and I'll go into another character and do a bit of recording with that one. I do have some other things to talk about, but I'll wait until I get on those. What I'll probably do now is end this video here and bring someone else on just to show you how things are going. Let's camp out. Anyway, guys, hang in there. I'll be back shortly. Hello, guys. Welcome back. And I'm back on a range, as you can see. I haven't abandoned him at all. Currently level 20. And he's in a strange situation, the Ranger, because if I'm being perfectly honest, this guy is probably the one that I have, for the first 20 levels of character, this is the one that I've enjoyed the most. Tracking is awesome. I love foraging, although I do have bags full of food at the moment, which I need to just get rid of somehow. Yeah, but the tracking mainly is wonderful. I love that. I've got double attack at the moment as well, which I'm just sort of leveling up. Fighting scarecrows, as you can see, these are great. I've never actually really come and encountered these before when I played on live, but yeah, they're pretty easy. I mean, they're kind of warrior-y. They don't really cast any spells apart. Occasionally they'll proc a fear spell, which kind of leaves you rooted to the spot for about 5 seconds or so. But yeah, they're pretty cool. One of the things I love about track is that you can kind of you can set it by con, so you can essentially pick the lowest level ones. Heading to the right, must be this guy over here. Yeah, you can start off by killing the lowest level ones. I think it's a bit more efficient, really. You know, you sort of I would say it's probably best to kill 4 or 5 sort of lower conning mobs than sort of 1 or 2 higher ones. I would probably say over a sort of a longer period of time. So yeah, that's been no. He's not the lowest, is he? To the left. Okay. It's a shame. I mentioned it before. I don't want to bore the pants off you, but it's a shame that where the hell is this other? He's right over here. My track is kind of pretty far wide, you know, pretty sort of long ranging now. So I probably should just go over here and kill this guy. What is he? He's a dark blue. That's okay. We can deal with that. Yeah, but sort of but tracking is brilliant. I love the fact that you can filter by consider and all sorts of other things as well. That makes it really useful. And just makes you a lot more efficient in your hunting. And the Ranger is, as I said, is in a strange situation because it's the class that I've loved the most for the first sort of 20 levels that I've played a class so far. But I'm also, and it's quite odd for me. I don't think I'm normally like it in a game. But I think I've read so much negative stuff about a Ranger. It's kind of seeped into my psyche a bit, and it's the class I'm most concerned about as well as it levels up. And I have spoken to a couple of high level rangers. One of the ones I sort of spoke to on the sort of level 60 ranger I spoke to on the forum, and he gave me some good advice and sort of allayed some of my fears. But it is something I'm still concerned about. You know, I'm kind of concerned about getting up to level 40 or so. And then sort of being a bit useless, I guess. Now, not useless in the sense that I'll be great at tracking and I can still probably hunt solo, although it'll be slow. But if I get up to that point and I do want to find, you know, I do find that I quite enjoy grouping and I want to get in groups, then I don't want to be in a situation where I'm playing where I've invested a lot of time in a class that I struggle to get into groups with. You know, that's the thing I'm concerned about. I guess, to be honest with you, you know, I suppose I probably wouldn't be that bothered about just sort of soloing the class. You know, it's I'm not in any great rush to get anywhere, really. And if I have to sort of solo through my 40s and it's a bit of bow kiting, a bit of direct damage, and a bit of this and that, then yeah, I guess that's just the way it is. You know, I don't think I'll. Where am I going? Am I going over this way? I don't think I'll have too much of a problem with that, and particularly because, as I said, I mean, for the first 20 levels, I've loved the class. I mean, it's probably the most fun I've had, and it's weird really because it's a class that is, you know, quite widely criticised by a lot of players, and I think it's kind of, I mean, I had no idea of this sort of stuff, you know, I never really got that far in live, but it's kind of got the reputation for being like a death touch, no, not death, what's the Shadowknight skill, harm touch. It's like a harm touch sort of sponge really. You send a ranger in to take the harm touch first, yeah, which is a bit of a shame. But I suppose, you know, it's difficult because when a class gets that reputation, it's so difficult because everyone takes it on, and then you just find yourself, you know, not really being able to sort of effectively do what you know you can do. I guess if you get in a group and you try hard and you play well and you show people what rangers can do, I guess that's what you're hoping for as a ranger, is that you can get into groups and you can convince people that yeah, they're up to scratch, you know, and they're good fun to have in your group, because there's a load of utility there, things like snare and yeah, I think sort of later on in the high 50s you get some pretty good, you can do some pretty good things with aggro as well. I don't know why I left that, but yeah, for me personally, it's strange because I find myself in a situation that I wouldn't find myself in. First of all, from in a sense that I'm playing a class that I'm really enjoying, but I'm concerned about its viability later on. And I understand, obviously, it's sort of thing where if you enjoy it, it's best just not to be concerned. You know, maybe that's ultimately the thing that we should be doing. Here comes. Sorry, I'm just doing some. I'm going to be doing some Ranger. Ranger regen, I suppose you would call this at the moment, because yeah, getting very little life for the spell that I'm casting, but it's pretty quick and I can just spam it for a bit until. Sorry about the key sound if you can hear that. So yeah, so as I said, I mean, I find myself in a strange situation as a Ranger, and I'll have to think about it. I'm certainly going to carry on playing it. I at least want to play it to a point where I'm kind of running around South Karana, tracking and stuff, because that's what I was kind of quite looking forward to, and I think that will sort of tell me if the fun factor of the class will outweigh the, you know, the sort of stigma that it's got. I'm hoping that it does, but maybe it's a character that I can just play for myself, you know, over a period of time, and I kind of log in and just have some fun when I want to play it. Maybe that's the way it will go. But I would like to group with it, because I didn't mention it when I was playing with Shaman, and I didn't record it either, and I'm really annoyed, and I'm really sorry actually, because I actually got into a Guck group, full group, and had a great time. But I didn't record it stupidly. I kind of started to record it, but what I was finding was that because I was trying to concentrate quite a lot on what I was doing, the commentary was just pretty crap. So yeah, it didn't really turn out, it didn't really go anywhere, which is a shame. But what I did find is that when I first got into the group for the first hour or so, I was generally the healer, with some rooting to keep the mobs sort of from running. That was generally my role. We had a couple of rogues, but the rogues left and another shaman joined, and he was like sword and board, not sword obviously, he had a sort of a one-handed blunt and a shield. So and I had my poison wind sensor, and I was kind of we had an enchanter who put haste on me, and I was dealing out quite a bit of damage actually. No replacement for the rogues obviously, but yeah, I was doing a job. And what I found from grouping for the sort of 2 or 3 hours that I was grouping for was that I much preferred the second role that I had, which was standing there whacking things. I enjoyed that in a group much more than what I was doing with the shaman from a healing point of view. So yeah, I kind of learned something there. It's quite interesting, but I did learn something about myself and how I would probably prefer to interact in a group. And I know that the ranger does dish out a fair amount of damage, you know, not rogue monk levels, but you know, maybe groups will maybe take you in a pinch if there's you know, if there's no one else there to if there aren't any rogues or they haven't got a full group. But that's the thing I'm kind of a bit concerned about with the classes. I don't want to be the class that people take in a pinch because there's no one else available. You know, it's I wouldn't want to invest it's difficult to explain. When I say I wouldn't invest the time, actually that's not quite true, because I'll be quite happy to invest the time in a ranger, you know, because I enjoy playing it. I suppose that's kind of the point, but maybe I would be a bit miffed if I got up to sort of level 40 and I was spending a lot of time looking for a group, because the problem is for me is that I generally don't get massive periods of hours where I can play all in one go. So I quite like to be able to log in and just gain some experience and then log out again in an hour or two, whatever the period may be. So I guess that's more where my concern is, but I've waffled on enough about that. I'm sure you kind of get the point, and I'll have to see how I get on in the future. But I love archery as well. You see, that's the thing, it's such a bind, because there's everything about the ranger that I love. You know, it's a sort of it's kind of like you read fantasy and you play fantasy games, you watch films. You know, it's a class that as I mentioned in a previous video with being a Tolkien fan, it's a class that I kind of identify with, and I sort of, you know, and I you know, it's a sort of like I guess I think I mentioned it before again in a video, so I'm probably repeating myself, but like a flavour of class, and something that you enjoy from a nothing to do with the mechanics of the game, or you know, or the world, or even sort of, you know, the sort of name of the game itself. It's more about the fact that you just identify a bit with the character and the class. I don't think I actually made any sense there at all, did I? I think if I could edit out that last 20 seconds of conversation, I probably would. I think what I was trying to mean, what I meant was, from a sort of from a role playing point of view, from a sort of a flavour point of view, the ranger sort of sits with my personality, and it sits with something I identify with in a book that I'm a fan of. But it's just that slight stigma that's attached to it. But I did, when I was playing my Shaman in a group, I did discover that I do quite like to be standing there whacking things. So we'll have to see how we go. That might be something for the next character, which I'll show you quite shortly. Anyway, after that pretty terrible ramble, I'm going to stop the video here. And almost the magic of the internet, almost immediately you will see my another character appear and start playing, you know, even though it's going to take me a while to camp out and get that character in there. So, but anyway, yeah guys, I'll be back again in a sec, literally. Hello guys, welcome back. Left it there, just left it a little bit there before I started. I thought I'd leave you looking into the steely gaze of Warmagil here, who's a bit of a badass. This is my new character that I've started. He's a Shadowknight, and I have to say, I'm even though I don't have my first lot of spells yet, I kind of love it. I sort of love it a bit. He's pretty awesome. Let's just get myself back into fighting mode. It's after I'd sort of grouped up with a Shaman and realised that I quite like standing there hitting things and maybe being responsible for that kind of thing. I thought to myself, well, maybe also I quite like being responsible for hitting things and sort of being, you know, and being the target man, as it were. So that's kind of where I'm coming from with this class. And I have to say, I'm really enjoying it at the moment. It's strange. I think I probably mentioned this way back on a monk video, but it's quite refreshing playing. I know that I get spells eventually, but it's quite refreshing playing a melee class, because you essentially, what happens is that you don't. Oh, hang on. The trackers, the big boys. No, the trackers are the ones I can deal with. So let's go and smack him. Effectively, with a sort of a, you know, an in-your-face class, you don't have so many. You don't have so many inductions to worry about. I'm used to playing spellcasters and sitting there for 2-3 seconds waiting for spells to go off. But with this sort of with this class, obviously you don't. Sorry, I'm obviously pointing out the obvious. I'm also wondering how many times I can say obvious in a sentence. But yeah, I'm pointing out what everyone already knows. Obviously, is that you know, if you haven't got any inductions to worry about, then obviously you're not going to have any to worry about. I had one of those days today. But it's a real change of pace, you know, not to have those. I mean, I know that I will eventually get spells, and there will be some inductions, and sort of spells to wait for. But I think generally you rely more on your brute force, and that means just running around. I know some people might say we're just running around pressing a few buttons occasionally, and that's fair enough. But I quite like the change in dynamics that it gives the game. So yeah, this is where I am. I'm trying out a Shadowknight, a bit like level 1 Undercon really. I've sort of become a bit addicted to, in a way, the hybrid classes. You know, they're just. I think I mentioned before in the Ranger video that where's the? Sorry, I'm just being mindful of that fungus man over there. I think it's one of the ones that I can beat though. There is a red con around. But I think they're the watchers and the trackers. Sorry, I should change. I should just change view here, because trying to chase something down in that view is just absolutely pointless. It's a lesson in frustration. Come on. The only thing I don't like about the in-your-face class is essentially that the hitboxes are just rubbish. You know, I mean, you sort of you know you're near enough for something to hit it, but it's just randomly register whether you have or not, which is a bit of a pain in the ass. I've got to be careful. Oh no, please don't aggro the Watcher. No, god damn, I aggroed the Watcher. No, and now oh, for God's sake, Bob, you big noob. I'm gonna run to the guards actually, because there was. Sorry guys, this is going to waste a bit of time. But there was someone. Sitting in the. I wish people wouldn't do that to dungeons. Just sit in the entranceway, because for a newbie like me, it's a good place to run to, just to zone and lose aggro. But I'm gonna have to go all the way back to the guards with these. But that's fine. Anyway, yeah, the only thing I'm not too keen on with the in-your-face classes, you know, the tanks and the whatnots. Essentially, that it's just a bit, you know, the whole hitbox thing is a bit dodgy. Particularly when you're chasing something down, but I'll get a snare at some point soon, so I'm hoping that will alleviate that somewhat. One of the things I've got to be careful of here is that for the name Morm, I know a couple of people have said where to get my names from. Have a look at Morm McGill on the internet, basically. I hope I spelt it right, but it's another Tolkien reference. The only thing I've got to be concerned about here with the Shadowknight is, again, it's about the theme and a flavour. Now, the reason I've enjoyed the Ranger so much is because I've based it on a theme and something that I kind of identified with, and it was my kind of thing. And I need to do the same with, I think, all of my classes to get the most out of them. I've kind of discovered about myself, really. I've got to be careful here, because Morm McGill essentially was going to be a human. Sort of, I mean, the character that the name comes from is human. So yeah, that was my original theme, and I have to. And the reason I picked Troll is because I kind of wanted to feel the pain even more so, because Shadow Knights get a pretty hefty experience penalty, and a Troll does as well, and it kind of works out to 68%, I believe, and that's pretty harsh. You know, I mean for a class that doesn't have a class race combination that doesn't have any penalty, I think it effectively means I have to get 168% of the experience that they would need to level. You know, which is painfully slow. But I'm conscious of the fact that Velios is coming out, so that would alleviate that somewhat and put me in a good position. But the thing I'm more concerned about is the theme. As I said, Morm McGill was originally planned as a human, and I have to say I'm not feeling the Troll Morm McGill as much at the moment as maybe I would the human one, so I need to be careful. I mean at the sort of the level that I am, it's no shakes to create a human one and just transfer the equipment over. That's not a problem. But I'm conscious of that. I don't want to. I do love the Troll, and also I saw some Troll Shadow Knights in East Commons, some sort of level 60 guys, and they look awesome with some of the stuff that they can wear. I mean, I think that's what kind of swung it for the Trolls, was the fact that they just looked pretty awesome as a Shadow Knight. So, but I'll see how it goes. The other thing I quite like about the hybrid penalty, or the Shadow Knight in general, I think, is that it's pretty wanted in groups. I don't think I'll have any problems getting groups particularly. But the thing with the experience penalties, I think it kind of, for me, I'm thinking to myself, well, what I need to do with this character is spend as much time in dungeons as I can. You know, essentially, because dungeons have an experience modifier. You know, a Zem, and so that's what I should be doing, and that's quite good, because it means that I will get into groups without really having to try, probably, because I'll just find myself in dungeons. I mean, I was reading a post by a sort of a Troll Shadow Knight, and he said that he spent quite a lot. Oh, for God's sake, he spent quite a lot of time in just in Guck. You know, he started at level 1, and you can level in Guck for a long period of time if you're willing to sort of spend all your time in Guck, I guess. But that was quite good, because I know that Guck has a pretty good experience modifier. Yeah, and it means that I'll be in a situation where I'll hopefully will get into some groups and take up the responsibility of being a tank. But I'm conscious of the theme thing. You know, I do like to get the theme right, I think I've discovered. And I don't want to end up with a character where I'm thinking to myself, well, actually I'll probably be doing that anyway. But I did have a bit of a background thing going on for Morm McGill as a human. You know, as a bit of a dark knight, sort of fallen paladin kind of thing, as I suppose everyone does when they start sort of a Shadow Knight. So we'll have to see how we go. Now, Forager Grick's going to attack me, so I'm going to have to take him out as well. I don't know if anyone's got any tips for this, but it's a lesson in frustration. I know the zone doesn't help with the water and all the trees, but oh, look at that! I mean, holy smoke, really? Oh, here we go. So I find myself going into deeper water, and forager Guck has now run off somewhere, and because I'm a bit twinked, as you probably noticed. I haven't spent a fortune on stuff, so I haven't gone stupidly stupid. As you can see, Guck is now going around aggroing every single froglock that's around. But as I said, I'm a bit of a tough cookie, so I'm not too worried. Outside here, I'm pretty much okay. Although I would probably prefer not to get that tracker as well. That would be a bit of a pain in the arse. Yeah, but just to talk about. Just finished talking about the flavour of the character and the theme and stuff. I'm not sure I should be playing a human. I have to think about that, but I'm quite enjoying it at the moment. So we'll see how we go. As I said, I've twinked a bit. I've only been spending sort of hundreds of plat on equipment rather than I haven't really had thousands that I wanted to invest in one character really. So I've just bought some basic equipment because the thing is, what I want to do with my characters as well, if I can, is just to be self-sufficient as much as possible. So go and camp stuff for myself if I want it. So I don't really want to spending too much. There we go. Dealt with those dudes. 3 little froglocks all in a row. I'll go back and check the guards outside Guck. And then what I might do, maybe we'll go into Guck just for a bit and have a look. Just see if I can solo the entrance. I think I should be able to. We will fight the fisherman first, so absolutely no reason not to not to do that. He's pretty good experience still so far. I think I was talking about Twinking. Yeah, I asked level one Undercon's advice about a weapon, and he said pick up Sword of Skyfire, which I did, and that was pretty sound advice. It's been awesome so far. It's really fast. And as I mentioned, I'm a Shaman. That seems to be the most important thing when starting a new character. Gives you a massive leg up if you've got a fast weapon with good damage. A couple of guards. Here we go. I do love the froglocks. It's a shame we'll never be able to play them, because I always thought it would be quite fun to play a froglock. Like froglock Shadowknight or a Shaman, that would be awesome, wouldn't it? But yeah, that didn't come till later, so we won't see that probably. Well, we definitely won't, I don't think. It's difficult to get good angles in this zone. Obviously, everything's quite enclosed. One of the things I kind of read about from a tanky point of view, being a troll or an ogre, is a few people have mentioned that it's quite difficult in dungeons. It can be a real pain. It can actually get you killed if you haven't got a shaman to shrink you. Yeah, it can be a real pain in the arse. And shrink pots apparently are quite expensive. So yeah, I'm not I'm not sure. Something else I'm not quite sure about. I mean, people play ogre and troll shadow knights and probably don't have a problem. So again, I'm just probably worrying needlessly, a bit like the whole ranger thing. But yeah, that's something that I'll think about as well. I'll just sit on my backside for a bit. We'll just regenerate a bit of health. Then what we'll do is we'll pop into the entrance to Guck and see if I can just solo a bit there, because I think I'm assuming that the zone experience modifier is all over the zone, so even fighting in the entranceway, I'll be negating my XP penalty a small amount. What else was I going to talk about? I was going to talk about Everquest next, and kind of say really there isn't really much to talk about. It was quite a strange reveal really, because the game is clearly in very early alpha stage, or a very early stage of whatever sort of whatever sort of phase it currently appears to be in. But it's weird. I do find it quite strange, because it's they kind of almost showed us just some interactive sort of graphic and model sort of animations. Well, obviously that's what a game is, but these really were, there really wasn't much to them at all. I didn't really get any idea of the game mechanics. There was no UI, and the combat was again, it just seemed like some characters going through some pre sort of designed, planned animations. It's quite weird. Didn't really learn anything from actually watching the game. Well, actually, I did learn something which I'll come on to, but from a gameplay point of view, we didn't learn too much. The stuff they spoke about sounds brilliant, but obviously the worry is that it's just really going to be, how much can they do of what they're saying they're going to do? Can they live up to the promises that they're making? And that's always the thing with a game that you see so early in its sort of in its life. But I have to say the stuff that they did mention does sound exciting. No doubt about it. The sort of deformation of the terrain, terrain destruction and building, that all sounds great. Kind of a bit Minecrafty, but it reminded me more of that new zombie survival game that looks really, really good as well. 7 Days to Die. It kind of reminded me of that a bit. And I'm quite looking forward to playing that. That looks pretty cool. Let's go and see if I can bash this guy. Yeah. So I'm inside. Oh god, he's yellow. Okay, I didn't realise that. I'll have to see. He's just cast. What's he cast on me? Oh, he's God. Oh, Bob. What a disaster! I've just been blinded. What I don't want him to do is run away while I'm blinded, because that would be a disaster. I think I might have turned off my auto attack. Yeah, I did. That's quite lucky. He's not doing much damage to me, so I believe I can probably kill him. I interrupt his spell there as well. That's obviously something that I need to get in the mood for, interrupting spells. Oh, good. He was going for a blind again there. I interrupted that. That's cool. Is he trying to heal himself, or is he going to slow me again? Oh, he got the spell through there. God damn. He's going to run in a minute, and that's always a scary thing in a dungeon. Where's he going? Oh, he's going... Is he? Oh, he's dead. Cool. There's so many corpses here. Look. Holy smoke. Anyway, we did a little bit of... He's... Oh, there he is. His corpse had died under a big ogre there. So here comes a sentry. He's white to me, so we'll give it a go. This is quite good because I'll get a fair bit of experience here again. Let's see if we can beat this bloke. I think we probably can. Yeah, anyway, back onto Everquest next. Didn't really learn much about the gameplay and the mechanics. The stuff they spoke about, the technical side of things, it sounds very impressive, but you've got to be concerned about whether they can deliver all of what they're suggesting. If they can, it'll be great. I mean, things like the going under the ground to a lower level, that seemed pretty awesome. How realistic that will be, no idea. I'm not sure. Maybe someone can sort of correct me, but I say correct me, I'm not actually sure, so maybe someone who knows a bit more about it can give the right answer. But I was wondering, I wasn't sure if they said it would only be in certain areas, because to create lots of different levels sort of through the whole world, that sounds like a massive undertaking, and I wasn't sure if it was only if you were near a dungeon, maybe you could break down into it, or only in certain areas would you be able to sort of break through the ground and go to a lower level. But that all sounded interesting. That whole side of it, the whole Minecrafty side of it, whether they can deliver that, that remains to be seen. But certainly from what I've seen of 7 Days to Die, it does seem as though it's possible. But I guess we just wonder if it's possible on that sort of scale, on the scale of a fairly big MMO. I wasn't quite sure where they were getting the complete sandbox thing from, because that's something that was kind of thrown around, and I guess sort of mucking about the terrain and all that kind of thing does indicate sort of sandboxy to a certain extent. But yeah, I wasn't massively sure where that was coming from. But again, that's something that we'll have to wait and see on. Another froglock sentry here. Oh, he's yellow, but that's okay. Running back to the start. I'm playing it safe in here. I'll just fight around the entryway and bring everything back to the beginning. But I would imagine I'm getting quite a good experience on this, so we'll have to see. I'm already feeling the awkwardness of playing a big character in a dungeon. With my Shaman, obviously I just shrank myself, so yeah, this is feeling a bit tricky. You know, it's not impossible, but I would imagine if you come across somewhere where you can't fit through, that would be extremely frustrating. But yeah, again, it's one of those things we just have to see how we get on. The good thing about playing a troll, of course, is that you're right near Guck. So if you die, you know, you don't have far to go. When you want to buy spells and food and stuff, you don't have far to go. So that's a pretty big advantage. But anyway, getting sidetracked again. Let's get back onto Everquest next. Yeah, we talked about the terrain destruction. That seems pretty interesting. We've spoken about the lower levels. That seems pretty cool as well. We don't know much about the gameplay yet, which I guess, you know, that's just how it goes. Oh, come on. I think I got him. There we go. Oh, got a bit of amber. Yeah, so the experience is pretty good. The zone modifier is obviously helping in that respect. What I'll do is I'll come and sit myself back down here. I think it's always an apprentice that appears here, so we'll have to see. Yeah, so let's just get some life back. I thought that Tad might attack, actually. Pain in the arse. There we go. Not too difficult to kill. Yeah, so the class character thing sounded quite interesting as well. Apparently, I'm assuming you start off. Well, actually, no. What I've read is apparently there are no classes. You've got skills. A bit like sort of Ultima Online, I guess, Secret World, where you've got skills that you raise through use. I'm not sure if that's true or not. Again, that's something that I've kind of read since the preview. Which I don't mind. It's quite interesting. I mean, I loved Ultima Online and I love the way the skill system works, so got no problem with that. Apparently you also find you can multi-class, which was very D&D, or cross-class, and I quite like that. Being an old D&D fan, I quite like that idea as well. Apparently you can find things in the world that that sort of, I don't know if they give you sort of another set of class skills that you can use possibly, so you can sort of, you know, pick and choose. That sounds really interesting. That probably sounded the best thing from the whole preview. You know, the class system sounds like it could be exciting. And for someone like me who suffers terribly from, you know, sort of creating loads of alts because I can't decide on what to do, if I can sort of play a character where I can pick and choose from a few different classes, that'd be quite exciting. That sounded really good. So yeah, from what we heard from a mechanics and a gameplay point of view, it all sounded quite great, but we didn't really see much. I don't personally think, anyway, we didn't see enough to make any decisions based on that. The big thing we did see, obviously, was the graphical style, and unfortunately for me, I kind of felt a bit sick in the stomach when I saw it. I apologise to anyone who saw it and loved it, but for me, no, definitely not. You know, and that could kind of put me off the game. I mean, I'm not a graphics whore by any stretch of the imagination. I play Everquest. You know, I mean, I could be playing. Oh, what have I got here? I picked up a netted mask that I'm actually using because I didn't buy a face piece. I mean, I play Everquest, you know, because I love, and one of the things I love about it is the theme of the graphics, you know, the graphical style. I think it's really awesome. So yeah, it's not the, oh god, a couple of sentries there that might aggro. I'm not going to risk that. So it's not from a technical point of view. It's just, for me, it's a big style thing, and I thought that they just looked awful. You know, I'm not quite sure. Well, it's obviously what they're going for. I mean, the humans look like, well, all of them look like Disney characters. With great respect to Disney, I don't want to play a game where my character looks like a Disney character. I mean, when I saw the human female, it just brought to mind what was the film, Beauty and the Beast, the character from there, you know, and all the facial expressions. I'm thinking, oh god, that looks so like so sickly sweet and just generic Disney. And I was like, oh, what are they doing? You know, and I saw the human again, it was the same. The dwarves look a bit World of Warcrafty. Again, the elves, to be honest with you, I didn't like any of the style of the characters at all, unfortunately, which is a big thing. You know, I hope it doesn't put me off, and I hope I can find a race that, you know, I quite like playing. Let's go back outside again, because I'm sure that some stuff outside would have spawned by now. And it was a shame. And don't get me started on the Lion character. I mean, like Lion King. What? It's like they must have sat down and there must have been like a massive, some sort of focus group, you know, and on the chalkboard they've written Disney, World of Warcraft, you know, with a bit of sort of Final Fantasy thrown in. There was no uniqueness about the style at all. You know, they'd looked at what was most popular and thought to themselves, we'll copy that. You know, we'll go for Disney because it's, you know, it's American and it's very popular. We'll go for World of Warcraft because that's the biggest MMO. And for the elves, we'll take a bit of influence from, you know, Final Fantasy and that kind of thing, because people like that sort of, or they think people like that cutie sort of elf look that you get from sort of the Asian MMOs. And to be honest with you, you know, I mean, I love Asian style sort of animation and artwork. But again, the sad thing, more than any, apart from dislike of the actual style itself, was the fact that there was no originality, nothing at all. I mean, Everquest still now to me looks original. Look at the frog locks. Look at them. They just look, you know, well, if I can actually find one. Where the hell has he gone? There he is. They just look awesome. You know, there's a style and a character all of their own, which this Everquest Next just doesn't have. I mean, I'm kind of risking I'm risking getting some stress heads on the comments down below, but it's not short to say that it's not sort of I'm not an exaggeration to say that I was appalled by the visuals. Irrespective of how technically great they may have been, I just hated the style. So yeah, so that's it. It's a big thing. I've got to see if I can get past that to play Everquest Next. It's going to be a long time before that game comes out. You probably still got to say you're looking at a couple of years in development. I mean, did someone say something about the end of the year? I can't imagine from looking at it. You know, I think it's quite a long way away. But it'd be interesting to see if there's any changes in that regard. Probably not. But I think it's probably only going to be older folk like myself who maybe are not going to take to the visual style, or maybe anyone that actually likes EverQuest 1 visuals. You know, I can't imagine they're going to take very kindly to the style that they've gone for EverQuest Next. But there you go. What can you do? We'll have to see how that develops. But so I mean, I've applied for the beta, so certainly from a gameplay point of view, you know, I'll give it a go. But it's difficult to keep going, I think, in any game, single player or MMO. You know, where you're looking out and you're bearing in mind you're going to be looking out onto the graphical style for sort of months, if not years, of your life. You know, and if you don't get along with it, yeah, it could be a bit of a problem. But we'll see how we go. Did I kill the guards outside the? Yeah, I did. Yeah. So, Forager Guck over there again has spawned. The highest level dudes out here are the fishermen and yeah, the watchers. Oh, the watcher's yellow to me, actually, that one. I still think probably he might be a bit much. I suppose I could harm touch maybe, but we'll have to see. What I would like to find is a tracker. There's one over there. Yeah, I think this guy's level 5, so just underneath me. That was quite good. That brief period in Guck there has kind of shown me that for playing a hybrid, particularly a hybrid with a race with a race experience penalty as well, you know, sitting in a high sort of Zen dungeon is definitely going to be the way to go. So yeah, I'll I know we're spending quite a lot of time in dungeons. Maybe playing the human might be the wiser option. Slightly less of a penalty, but we'll have to see. If I get into the troll here, I'll probably definitely stick with it. Probably definitely. That's there's no commitment there at all, is there? Sorry. You know me by now. You know, you watch enough videos. Anyway, guys, I think I'll stop here. It's been quite a long video, this one, because it's going to be all the bits and pieces sort of mashed together. I hope you've enjoyed it and it's kind of updated you on what I'm doing. I'm going to be trying to bring more regular videos. I would probably say you may even see another video over the next couple of days. Certainly on Wednesday there'll be a new video, I think. Not sure what class yet. Again, maybe it'll be a combination. We'll see how we get on. If I get to 24 of my Shaman by then, I'll do some level 24 Shaman spell footage. see how we get on with that. But yeah, thanks for watching. Don't take the EverQuest Next things too personally. The graphical style quite literally sickened me, but there you go. That's just my opinion. Please don't take offence, and I'll see you again soon.